Yo, I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shoot tastes sour, you should taste mine. I'ma stay in power for a long time. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel, and welcome back here again to another video. So I put together a list of the things that I like and I dislike about the car. Now, I did a video like this a while back. I want to say maybe about, I don't know, a year and a half ago. I wanted to, I guess, revise that because after you've had a car for a while, you learn to appreciate certain aspects about the car as you drive it and have it for a longer period of time. And also when you add stuff to the car, you either, like I said, appreciate them, or certain things might start to annoy you or bother you, or wish that you could possibly have changed or not be exactly how it currently is. So that's why I wanted to put this together. So anyway, let's jump into it. Okay, so I don't have any particular order on the things that I like and I dislike about the car, but I'm gonna start off here with the things that I dislike or annoys me. It's a different list than what I did the first time I did this a while back, but I want to start off first with how low the X-Pipe is. Now, I got the X-Pipe on right before we moved down here to Texas. So I did this back in June, I think. And with the combination of the iBox Sport lines and how low the X-Pipe is, I mean, if the ground's not completely flat, it's gonna hit just about everything. So if you can see, if I can get the camera under here, that is probably, I don't know, probably 3.5 inches off the ground. And the passenger side, you can see it's a little bit scraped up there a little bit, always tends to hit just about everything. And going into my driveway, if I don't go at the right angle and the right part of the driveway, it'll scrape, it'll hit. It's not a drastic, but it just hits and it scrapes and it just annoys the hell out of me. So I didn't know after I purchased them it was going to hang that low. Have you guys had any issues with this also as well? It's the LTH X-Pipe, obviously with the long tube headers. You guys have the same problem with yours? Now, I would assume if you have a different spring that's not quite as low as the iBox Sport lines, you know, not going to have the same issue. Secondly, and this comes obvious with having a car like this, is the gas mileage. Because when you do things like this, you average like 10 to 14 miles per gallon. So since I got retuned, the gas mileage has gone down a little bit. And like I said, all this is, I mean, it comes with the territory of having a car like, you know, a GT500 with a V8 and a supercharger, and it's expected. But I'm still on pump gas. I'm not on an E85 tune, and I know with E85 you're going to get substantially less gas mileage than with a pump 93 tune. So I believe it's a 16-gallon gas tank. I wish, combined with how bad the gas mileage is, they would maybe give you a little bit larger of a gas tank. I wish, because even from the factory, the gas mileage I think is low 20s, I think. So I mean, it's okay, but it's not fantastic. I just wish a little bit larger of a gas tank, and the gas mileage is expected. I mean, it is what it is, but yeah. Okay, and then thirdly would be the brake dust. Now, I cleaned these a little bit while ago, but I mean, that's not terrible because I just cleaned them. But you go down the street, you go anywhere, it doesn't matter if you're going across the street to the gas station or a long trip, the brake dust on these cars, I mean, they're just prone to have really bad brake dust. And I'm constantly cleaning them, I'm constantly wiping them down every single day. And it just, I have the factory pads, I want to get the ceramics. I know the ceramic brake pads cut down a lot on the brake dust, so I know that, you know, is something that a lot of people do, is they switch out the factory pads for the ceramic. So that is going to be coming soon. So I mean, yeah, the brake dust in these things is not fantastic. And also, since we're down here by the tires here and talking about the brakes and the brake dust would be the rear factory brakes. It just seems like your standard brakes set up in the rear, and then you go to the front. You know, obviously you have your Brembos in the rear. So the 11 12s only have the Brembos in the rear, none in the front. I just wish these came with a bigger brake in the rear. Okay, so on to the things that I actually do love and enjoy about this car is far more than the things that I hate. I don't like to use hate because you spend, like I've said before in other videos, you're spending thousands of dollars on a car and thousands of dollars on upgrades. I don't hate anything about the car. It's just more annoyances that I wish were maybe a little bit different, but that comes with the territory of having a car like this, and you're not gonna always enjoy everything. But the things that I do enjoy, I want to start this off with, since I put the headers and the X-pipe, the sound of the headers and the X-pipe in this thing, it's amazing. So I'm ducking down a little bit because the wind here sucks. So I'm trying to just hide away a little bit from the wind. But the headers and X-pipe completely change the whole dynamic when it comes to not only the power increase with the horsepower and the torque, but the overall sound of the car. It just completely opened it up, and I couldn't ask for a better sound that combining with the headers and X-pipe and the Borla Attack exhaust. In my opinion, I love it. It's not cheap to obviously purchase headers and X-pipe, and then also the cost of installing that, you know, is not cheap also as well. But to me, it's cash well spent with everything that you get out of not only the power increase, but the sound also as well. For anybody that doesn't have headers and X-pipe on their GT500, I recommend it for sure. All right, so moving on here to the inside of the car. I've touched about this a little bit in the past, but I highly recommend a MGW shifter combined with the McLeod RXT. I know there's other clutches and combos that you could go with. I'm just speaking off of my personal experience. 1112s, like I've said, you have that issue at the first, second gear lockout. It's not consistently, it's not every time, but when it does happen, it sucks, it's annoying. I haven't had a single issue going from first to second gear since I installed the MGW shifter and the McLeod RXT clutch. The factory shifter has a lot of slop to it. I mean, it's somewhat notchy, but it took a little bit of driving to get used to this after I installed it. It took about a few hours, but you can tell it's extremely notchy. It's a lot shorter than the factory, and it doesn't have any play in it hardly at all whatsoever. Very notchy. And the clutch, I mean, it's a little heavier than factory, but it's not that bad. So another thing here in regards to the things I enjoy and like about the car, when it comes to having a S197 and a live axle compared to the S550s, you get a lot more of a raw American muscle type feel, I guess you could say. You feel less in control, and when you add a lot of power to the car, it adds more of a fear factor, and it's a bit more terrifying. I don't know if people would actually enjoy that, but it gives it more of a raw feel to having the car and enjoying it. So here on to the outside, I think one of the best things I've done to this car is the 13-14 headlight swap, front and lower, and the taillights that I've done also. If I haven't done so much to this car when it comes to like the supercharger, the headers and exhaust and everything else that I've done, if I haven't spent thousands upon thousands of dollars in this car, and if I would have probably kept it stock, I probably would have gone with a 13 or a 14 at some point of owning the car. But I've had it for so long, I started, you know, adding the supercharger and the exhaust, like I said, and the suspension. I spent so much on it. To me, I wouldn't trade this for a 13 or a 14, because A, it looks like a 13 or 14 in a lot of aspects. It's putting down a lot more power than a factory 13 or 14 GT500 as it stands now. So the 13, 14 headlights, front and lower, and the taillights I have on it also as well. To me, that is my favorite aspect about the car is the looks of the taillights and the headlights, and all around just the S197 body style as a whole. So, like I said, I would have probably at some point gone with a 13 or a 14, but I've done so much to this car, it just wouldn't make sense to get rid of this for a 13 or a 14, because I would want to buy one stock. I don't want to get one that's probably been used and abused, and because you never know how the car was taken care of. So that's why I've stated before in the past, I always prefer to buy cars that are stock and do everything myself. But the overall look that you get with an S197, I mean, it's not the most technologically advanced cars. Obviously, the S550s are, you know, they have a lot more technology in them, obviously, but just the overall look and feel and vibe that you get from a S197 combined with the 13 and 14 headlights and taillight swap, I just think it's a perfect combination. Okay, so lastly for me, with the things that I actually enjoy about the car, and it's not really lastly, I could probably go on and on and on with the things that I like about the car. I mean, that's why I have the car, and I've had it for as long as I've had, and don't want to trade it in for other cars. And it's paid off too. If you have a car and you have it paid off, I mean, that's one thing in and of itself. But when it comes to things that I truly enjoy about the car, I want to end this with the current tune I have on the car. I have it tuned from HPP Racing. I previously had it tuned from VMP. Now, I don't dislike VMP. It's just comparing an email tune to an in-person tune on a dyno. I think when you have the car tuned on a dyno, I personally believe you do just get a little bit more out of it compared to like an email tune. It doesn't matter if it's VMP or others as well. They're all great companies. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. I just want to put together a revised list of the things I truly enjoy about the car and appreciate, and things that I'd like to say hate, but things that kind of annoy you about the car, because, you know, especially with the X-Pipe, stuff like that. So as time goes on and I change parts out and add stuff, I might do a few of these every so often, because your thoughts and opinion about a car can always change, whether for the good or the bad. So, but with that said, if you guys are watching this and you're not subscribed, go ahead, hit subscribe, leave a comment, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.